Today, I'm going to talk about
Covert emotional abuse uncovered. Today, we're talking about a pattern you might know too well. Being around someone who brings out the worst in you. You're usually even-tempered, but the moment you see this person, anger rises for no clear reason. Your chest tightens, your jaw sets, and you find yourself itching for a fight. You're tolerant with everyone else, yet with them, the tiniest thing can make you fall apart. Maybe outsiders think they're a great partner or a great parent, but only you know how uncomfortable you feel around them. They know how to step on every landmine, push you to the edge, and then accuse you of being unstable or too sensitive. Being with them is exhausting, emotionally, mentally, sometimes physically. If that sounds familiar, don't rush to blame your own temper. From a psychological perspective, you may be experiencing covert emotional abuse. Patterns that don't always leave bruises but still leave marks. Here are common forms of that abuse. First, they don't care about your feelings. When you share your hurt, their first reaction isn't empathy but argument. They don't try to understand your sadness. They call you petty or oversensitive. Whatever happens, they tell you you're overthinking. When you're down, they say, "Why are you upset about something so small?" It sounds like comfort, but it steadily erases your reality and invalidates your feelings. Over time, you start doing their job for them, doubting yourself, wondering, "Am I just too sensitive? Am I overreacting?" That self-doubt is the point. If you question your own perception, they never have to question theirs. Second, verbal aggression. They're contrarian about everything you say. When you finally snap, they label you fragile. They belittle and demean you, always criticizing, always finding fault. Sarcasm becomes a weapon. Jokes have barbs. Compliments arrive with a sting. If you swallow it long enough, you'll internalize their voice and your confidence will shrink to fit their narrative of you. Third, they provoke what feels like an allergy to incompetence. Once in a relationship, they keep doing foolish things. Forgetting important tasks you asked for, botching simple errands, promising help, and disappearing at the crucial moment. When you ask about it, they wait for you to clean up the mess. You feel powerless and weirdly responsible. They have no intention of changing because acting inept lets them dodge accountability. As the helpless one, they can do nothing, do everything poorly, and wait for you to compromise. On the surface, it looks like your anger is an attempt to control them. Underneath, they're pressuring you to give in and abandon your needs. Sometimes there's also a cycle, a stretch of coldness or chaos followed by brief sweetness. Apologies, gifts, extra attention, just enough to make you hope again. Then the pattern returns. That intermittent relief is confusing by design. It hooks your nervous system. The result? Your well-being gets worse and worse. Sleep gets lighter. Joy shrinks. You monitor your words, your tone, your timing. You stop recognizing yourself. Emotional abuse can cut deeper and last longer than physical abuse because it convinces you that the pain is your fault. So if you notice you're in a psychologically abusive dynamic and you find yourself breaking down again, don't start by doubting yourself. Start by grounding in facts. What was said? What was promised? What actually happened? Keep a small log if it's safe to do so. Your job is to cut off the emotional back and forth. Step out of the spin. Use physical distance or firm psychological boundaries. I'm not discussing this while you're insulting me. We can revisit this when we're both calm. Limit contact where you can and protect the time that restores you. Build a triangle of support. One person who listens without minimizing, one professional if accessible, and one practice that brings you back to your body. Walking, breathwork, journaling, anything that helps your system settle. Practice clear requests and limits. I need you to stop mocking me when I share a feeling. If the name-calling starts, I will end the conversation. If change doesn't follow words, let consequences speak. Leave the room, end the call, cancel the plan, take space. Remember, an emotional explosion isn't automatically your fault. Sometimes the real crazy maker looks perfectly normal on the surface, accommodating in public, charming with friends, generous when it costs them nothing, while eroding you in private. You're not too much for noticing harm. You're not broken for wanting peace. You are allowed to protect your mind, your time, and your heart.